I'm preparing to take off on a trip that will see me at Border Village, South Australia on the first Saturday in August, and at Mount Dare on the western end of the Simpson Desert on the second Saturday in August. So I'll be taking the DR on this trip, largely because a lot of the kilometres will be on dirt tracks, dirt roads, dirt tracks. Heading from Hayden across to Norseman will be on the dirt, and then from Border Village across to Ceduna there'll be a section that I'll take on the old air highway. Then from Wirrala up to Kingunya on the dirt, and then variously up to Mount Dare, and then I'd say that new rear tyre will need replacing in Alice, and then back across through the centre back to Laverton and back to Perth. Thought you might like to have a bit of a closer look at the DR. I've set it up over a period of time, and she's pretty good right now for the kind of riding that I enjoy. It's got a 30 litre tank. I think it's grown a little bit since manufacture. The suspension's been upgraded front and rear, completely new rear shock. What else? There are various bits and pieces we'll have a look at. The racking system is of my own design, and it's designed so that I can accommodate two 10 litre jerry cans. They strap one behind the other, one in front of the other, on either side, and it's big enough so that I can just use normal luggage basically. I use soft luggage and just strap it on depending on the size of what gear I'm taking. I can use small or larger kit and just strap it on the sides. Nothing goes on the top except for what you see there, which is containing just some tyre repair kit. Let's have a bit of a closer look. I'm running D606s front and rear. The headlight has got some manual adjusters on it. If I just go through this slowly, so that depending on the load I can change the angle of the beam. The engine has got some stainless steel guards both sides. It's obviously got the bash plate underneath. Also got a centre stand, which makes life much better when you get a flat or need to do any maintenance. Here's the bar setup. Quite a few changes there, some things stayed the same. There's a steering damper. You'll notice that there's some stainless steel work there which houses a cigarette lighter input and USB inputs. Garmin GPS. That's about it of note, I think. Let's just move around to show you. Set up there. The indicators are aftermarket. They are LED, quite bright, which is really good. Standard seat. The last thing I change on a bike is the seat. I can manage with that. I can stand up when I have to. Speaking of standing up, the foot pegs have been moved. I had some brackets specially made to suit myself. There's a bit of a look at the racking system. You'll see there a bit of a gap there that I can put a 2 litre water container, just sit it there upright if I need to. And just about anything fits there, from hard fuel tanks to soft luggage. It's quite flexible. This rear peg's still there. Aftermarket exhaust. You'll see the rear has been changed quite a bit. It's quite simple. The tube there contains some chain lube, good enough for a few thousand kilometres of riding. Oh yes, the chain and sprockets. I run a standard sprocket up front and a 44 tooth sprocket at the rear. That works pretty well for me. It allows me to drop the clutch and basically walk the bike through sand if necessary, so I don't have to ride the clutch at all. I'm running D606s, front and rear. I've had a crack at running some tyres that can be run tubeless as well, on tubeless rims, but I find them to be too difficult to take on and off when you get a puncture, so I stick to the 606s. Work pretty well. Again, the stainless steel protector on the cover. Oh, on the side there is another power outlet. That's the German outlet, and I use that for my pump for the tyres. That's my setup for the fuel line. I had filters there, but they didn't seem to work too well for me. The lines coming from the tank are smaller than the line. There's two of them, one from the other side. Go to that T, and then there's a larger hose going up into the carburetor. Nevertheless, I still have problems and still have trouble getting all the fuel out of this thing, and I've experimented with everything here, including turning the pipe on the throttle body to the side. Tried all sorts. Still have some difficulties there for some reason. I think that just about covers it. Just back to the bars again, I've got some aftermarket levers on there which work very well for me. One of the problems with this setup is that it's very difficult to see the neutral light and also get to the key, but it's manageable. Okay, I've just picked the bike up after having it serviced at McCulloch Suzuki in Vic Park. The boys there look after me pretty well, and I've got the bike ready for another adventure.